All right, babies. It's nighttime. And as always, my bad, man. I had a hint of paranoia earlier. Okay, never mind. What am I thinking about? I am thinking about... I just left. I spent an hour and a half beautiful walking. Fully relaxed me. Like expression is hard. I wanted to read something, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have a heart-to-heart kind of thing. On my to-do list is these books. And I have this book that's already full, right? And I have another book that's kind of like, in the process. And the thing about these books is I kind of like get one of those like, it's a state-ish thing. Like most of the times things might pop up randomly. But recently I started noticing like sometimes 2 weeks in a row I have like an influx of a whole lot of shit because, I don't know, maybe I do something that kind of like relieves my pressure, or I come to a certain conclusion that allows me to be at peace. Like, okay, you fucked up. Okay, all right, we're fine. Now we're sure. We're no longer kind of like whatever. Or you did good. You finished this. Like, okay, it's done. Like, those closures. Okay, let's call them closures. And the thing about them is sometimes it's not that they're intense. It's like every video, when I actually am expressing, what I'm doing is I'm kind of like I'm using parts of my brain, right? And elaborating on something that at one point came to me, right? So I'm trusting it to have value and I'm investing about 10 to 12 minutes in it, right? That's basically any one of these basically notes. And over the past 2 months, I kind of like came to a certain realization when it comes to work and found myself in a space where, hey, Tariq, you're not really like, you're not moving in the right direction. And naturally, the first thing I do when I come to that conclusion is I kind of like give myself space to accept it, give yourself time. You can't just say, oh, okay, it didn't work, let's jump to something else. Like, why didn't it work? How didn't it work? And these things are not very like scientific. They're not mechanical. It's not something you do, right? I mean, again, like some people maybe do them because they talk about them all the time, the people that are like teaching, you should do this and you should do that. But fuck me, dude, like, is it really that easy to do it? Is it really that kind of like, I don't know, is it really that simple? It's like, what is happening with me? Or like, oh, not. No, I feel those are skills that you build. And you, like, the fact that most of our lives has been driven by the external world, the abstract frame of thought that the mind has to use in order to explain the world and elaborate the world, at one point lost connection with a feeling. And I feel like that's the first thing you kind of start learning when you started building empathy, is you kind of start understanding, what are you feeling? Where are you feeling? How does that make you feel and why? And like allocating these kinds of things and establishing a connection, a relationship between you and those feelings of yours. And basically you build the skill of understanding them, and you build the skill of developing around them, and kind of like, just being able to close these loops, get these closures at a faster pace. Because sometimes a feeling exists, and then it translates into an emotion, and then suddenly you find yourself kind of like lethargically moving slower when normally you kind of like move faster or something. I don't know. It's like you kind of like notice you're not, not as perky as you normally would. You're not talking to people as much as you normally would. You're not as excited, energetic, whatever it is. You're not as... And multiple factors affect, man. It could just literally be a few days where you didn't get some good sleep. Or it just could be... like last week, I got really sick. For like 3 days, I was very much like, first day I was sweating, the second day. And things are happening and shit is moving. There's just a beauty and kind of like, in the flow of everything. But so I was still in a phase where I'm looking at what are the next things to do. What am I working on right now? What am I going to start delivering right now? And naturally, like, it hit me because there's content and there's a whole lot of like, I have to do content. I fucking have to do content, and it has to be me because I have to talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing, and actually building that rhetoric around it in order for me to, as I think out loud, I explain it to the people, I actually write it down the same way I'm doing these things here. Like, you know, and it has to happen because that's the social proof that everyone wants. And I do long form videos where I actually explain to myself what's going on, what am I thinking regarding my work. And as I do that, I basically take these videos and clip pieces of them and translate them across. And the goal is basically to kind of like, you know, create something out of the learning process that I did that would make me money, or at the very least that I could monetize. Actually start building on top of the small businesses, my philosophy around them. And by doing that, I kind of like build with small businesses and incorporate them in basically what I'm doing, and kind of like deliver that content around them. As like, and what I call them is basically strategic partnerships, because ultimately, like, you know, you can partner with me because you can partner with me because I have like a space somewhere where you need a warehouse, or you can partner with me simply because I can be a pseudo CEO twice a fucking month, where I actually go there and I kind of like, you know, interact with you enough for you to kind of like get that clarity. I did business analysis and all that shit. So there's a whole kind of like beautiful process that kind of like clicks between like, you know, what I'm building software wise, but like the translation of the people to it. So like today specifically, for some reason, like I was making these videos, and the target is the 10 videos today. And if you think about them, it's 12 minutes each video, so I can do up to 20, 50. But like the actual energy, sorry man, electricity went out. The actual energy that I actually could bring out of me, right? Like, you know, to truly give every video the train of thought, to allow it to kind of like, I don't know, just come out properly, like, you know. I'm kind of doing videos that, like, I wrote this at one point, so it meant something to me, right? And by meaning something to me, that means, like, now that I'm reflecting on it, I have to give it that attention. And if my energy is just not there, then basically it's not going to get the attention that it deserves, period. That's basically it. And the goal is to kind of like, I don't know, like as I was like, I did the first video, second video, and then I started walking about in the area, and I tried to close my eyes, and then I kind of like did for like 10 minutes, and then the food was ready, so I ate a bit. And after I ate, I felt lethargic. Then now that I walked, I kind of like walked for a long space, for a stretch. And as I walked, I kind of like, you know, had different thoughts. I did a voice note around them. So I'm still expressing, but it's not expressing to you. Expressing to me is kind of like resolving some shit. Expressing to you is projecting how I'm thinking, projecting my own kind of like image into the outside world and how I see it. And by doing that, I'm looking at my words, and I'm looking at how I'm explaining, how I'm reasoning, how I'm reflecting. It's different from a conversation. It's different from a conversation between me and myself. This is me giving myself This is me expressing in order to get feedback from my expression. Yeah, that's the best way to say it, because I'm kind of like letting go what's already inside, and I'm looking at what let go, and from there I'm going like and it's basically just the idea that everything kind of like connects, and like a whole lot of things start building around. A lot of information connects together in cute ways, and then they start coming out much easier in the future. But this rant was purely around the whole concept of expression, and like all of these are basically to-dos for me, or get this, finish this, do that, blah 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 blah, right? Like it's kind of like effort, or at the very least it's a dedicated form of kind of like, you know, expression. And over the next couple of weeks, I will have professional expression, which is in the same form of content. I don't know how I'm going to be doing that shit. There's social expression, and then there's this, which is basically, I don't know, I feel like it's personal expression. And all three of them were going to start happening. And ultimately, the only way I can imagine my life is I wake up, I make a couple of videos, I fall asleep. And then I wake up, I make a couple of videos, and I fall asleep. Because I feel that's the perfect working kind of like progress, especially with that, because I express, I think of stuff, and then I basically like go to sleep, and I wake up and I take notes about what I thought about when I was sleeping, and then after that I go and I do something else. But I also came to the realization that I have to write shit small. I have to write a roadmap with all the parts of the roadmap inside, and just basically like start creating some form of like accountability. So all in the name of expression. Truly, all in the name of just like having closure over all the things that passed, that I was supposed to have done, that I said I wanted to finish. Finishing them, getting them over with, and in order for me to have new things to kind of like finish. That's basically it. Like just activity and action is the goal. I don't know. Here we go, man. It's like all I did was 4 videos where I truly expressed what was in my head. And I found myself unable to sit in one place, and I had to walk, have some ice cream, think of different things, kind of like forgive myself over different things as well. And then come back 2 hours, 3 hours later in order to sit down and with the energy that's been regained, do a couple of more videos and a couple of more expressions. Fucking love, dude. All right.